My name is Mr. Hunt, that's my teacher name, but my human name is Simon, so Simon Hunt is my full name. I first got to know Kahoot by accident about 6 or 7 years ago. I was watching a presentation. Halfway through, he shared a Kahoot, so he explained how it worked, and I signed up for a free account, and I've used it ever since. The initial reaction was smiles and engagement and fun, and children wanting to learn more about what Kahoot was. And also, as a teacher, when you use a resource or something that gets the children engaged, that's your hook when you're trying to hook the children, and then you layer on the educational value side on the top. So you get the children engaged first, you hook them, and Kahoot does that. But then the educational side, all the other stuff as a teacher that you want, so the assessment, the knowledge and understanding of certain subjects, and the questions that you throw up there, that's what you want as a teacher. I called it camouflage learning, so basically to the children, they're having fun, but so they don't notice it, it's just camouflage. As a teacher, we're getting lots of information that we can then use to impact our teaching going forward.
It's really fun and it helps you learn in a fun way. And also, if you get it wrong, you know for next time.
It makes it more fun, because like when you do it on a piece of paper, it's like more boring. And Kahoot makes it more fun.
The first time I ever used Kahoot was to do with times tables, multiplication. So it was just in a math lesson. So it was at the start of a math lesson. I gave it a go. We put some questions on, multiple choice questions, to see how the children's knowledge and understanding of times table questions. And that was the first time I used it, and the fun and enjoyment, because I've been teaching for a long time, and it's hard to make learning timetables exciting and fun. It really is quite difficult. I get a wealth of knowledge and wealth of statistics and stuff that I can then use to help with my teaching going forward. I've always found that conversations with children and relationships are the way you get the most out of it. Because I've got little children, and when they want to share, putting their hand up and having their really teeny tiny voices, it stops some children doing that. But by throwing up their answers onto the screen, everyone can see what they're saying, and then you can say, oh, who was it that said this? And then they go, oh, it was me. And then you've kind of taken away that nervousness of putting the hand up, because it's a way of then sending their answers to a screen or their thoughts to a screen. And it's a way of everyone else seeing it as well. We notice this particular area of weakness, right? It's this section. So we focus on that over the next few weeks, and then we'll do the same Kahoot questions again afterwards, so we can see the difference between this starting point and the point that we're at now. If we still need to focus on that area, we can keep going with that area. So Kahoot for me it's just awesome, and it's a game changer as well.
I would say that it's like a better way to learn and play at the same time.
Kahoot is a fun learning game where if you get some questions wrong, you learn them, and when you learn them, you know them next time.
Kahoot, we're turning it up, and I can see all of the answers. In Kahoot, we're turning it up, and I can see all of the answers.
Oh shoot, it's time to play Kahoot.
Aw shoot, it's time to play Kahoot. Aw shoot, it's time to play Kahoot.
Oh shoot, it's time to play Kahoot. It's a friendly competition, but a competition nonetheless. Boy, it's time to play Kahoot. I hope that all y'all brought your best. If you studied for the quiz, then you don't even gotta guess. We inside the lab and we not coming out like house arrest. One would say that we obsessed with learning, plus we having fun. I'm like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You see all my patty ones, quiet and the chatty ones. Everybody playing it. It's a battle of our wits, and we make it live and lit. It's lit. I got the keys on the plug, I'm the admin. Look at the screen, pick the pen, go on and log in. You better be ready with that knowledge in your noggin. Ready? Cause when that countdown in, you know we going in. Oh shoot, it's time to play Kahoot. It may seem like horseplay, but now we learning as a group. We standing resolute, and we gaining knowledge bit by bit. Sometimes learning's quiet, other times it's loud and passionate.
There's no running from this L. If you know you didn't study, play me one-on-one or with your group, go get your buddies. In the end, it's a win-win. If you win or lose, we gonna discuss the answers when we finish as a group. But until that time comes, we pushing one another, engaging in some healthy competition with each other. We gauging what we know to see just what we need to learn. Catch me on this answer street, look at all these coins I earned.
Got my nickname, got my A game, so let's get it poppin'. When I get them answers right, ice cream like Baskin Robbins. Taking candy from a baby, but no, I'm not robbing. If you sleeping on a kid, boy, wake up because you slobbing. If you sleeping on us, then I hope you tossing and turning. We not just playing games, show we actually learning. And we constantly yearning to learn something new every day. Check my grades and my conduct, yeah, I slay.
Oh shoot, it's time to play Kahoot. It may seem like horseplay, but now we learning as a group. We standing resolute, and we gaining knowledge bit by bit. Sometimes learning's quiet, other times it's loud and passionate.
Sometimes we are silent and we take a standardized test. It's so quiet you could hear a pen drop off the desk. Sometimes this is best we learn, yes, I confess. But sometimes we get energy to burn. Yes, we a mess.
But we not talking crazy riot like a violent protest. Everything under control, man, we focused on progress. And part of the process is inviting interest into lessons, integrating ideas like Pinterest.
Do you think we at recess? These smiles on our face. And when we play Kahoot, man, I'm always gonna place. First, second, maybe third in the worst case. Getting all them answers right, green glowing on my face.
Nobody catch fits, we all good sports. All out like a blitz ball, like we on the court. Yeah, we gain in our brain, you can check the report. If you got a migraine, we apologize for the noise, sorry.
Aw shoot, it's time to play Kahoot. It may seem like horseplay, but now we learning as a group. We stern and resolute, and we gaining knowledge bit by bit. Sometimes learning's quiet, other times it's loud and passionate.
Hello, Kahooters from near and far. Welcome to the annual Kahoot EDU Summit. We are so very glad you're here for another full day of learning right in the midst of what is likely a very busy season for you, whether reviewing for end of year exams and testing, or even in a nice lull for a summer refresh. We are excited to be back on stage with hopefully some familiar faces and names. In fact, perhaps we have met before at one of our monthly webinar series or a teacher talks preview, or even if this is our first introduction, hello again. My name is Hannah Harris. I'm a community manager here at Kahoot, and today I am so thrilled to be your host, MC, fellow learner, and Kahoot player throughout the entire EDU Summit today. We have so very much, loads and loads of awesome content to explore and discover. And today we'll connect with some fellow crew members on my team, and then also some stellar Kahoot ambassadors and community members as well. Throughout our time together today, we'll be partaking in some live demonstrations and workshops that will surely inspire your back to school planning and hopefully invigorate some of your classroom lessons and learning experiences already happening. As we get started today, I just want to do a quick check-in in the chat. I know I've been seeing some hellos and I've been sharing hellos back to you. Thank you for those introductions. I'd love to know where you are following and tuning in from. I saw lots of shout outs from all parts of the US, some hellos from the UK, Idaho, North Carolina, Romania, Lithuania. I'll be out of breath saying it all, but very glad you're here and so excited to be connecting with a truly global audience. I'm tuning in from New York City, so I'm East Coast time zone, and it looks like we are right at the hour ready to begin. So fabulous, glad you are here. If you are streaming from a site that starts with www.kahoot.com, you probably don't have access to that chat, which is okay. Let me show you a few different ways on how to find it. So you can click on the watch on YouTube icon and picture on our Kahoot website. So if you're looking at my screen, hello, I think it's either this corner or this corner. When you click on that watch on YouTube button, then you'll see the chat stream happening usually on the right-hand side. If you're not seeing it there, definitely suggest you refresh, reload your browser. If you're still not seeing it, no problem. Just like I have before, I'll continue echoing what's happening in the chat, and there will be other ways for you to contribute as well. If you're streaming from a site that starts with www.youtube.com, just refresh your browser, reload your page, and hopefully then you'll be able to interact with the chat. However, it could be that your YouTube is set up with age restrictions or different visibility permissions, depending on what your account setup looks like. And again, no worries. If that chat is blocked, I'll continue echoing what's happening on the chat and give you some other opportunities and options to stay connected and a part of our community today. Nonetheless, we will have many opportunities to get acquainted with one another. And I wanted to share a quick rundown of our agenda and game plan for you today to plan ahead. Just like the theme and kind of mindset of this event being all about ways to engage and staying engaged with your students and community, I wanted to share some different ways that we will stay engaged and interactive and dynamic with every moment spent together today. So here is what to expect. We'll learn some step-by-step processes and frameworks that support teachers, educators like you in helping to plan, design, create, and assess, of course, the interactive learning processes and protocols efficiently and effectively. We'll also uncover some of the awesome planning and preparation tools that help give you superpowers in efficiency and effectiveness, thanks to AI-powered creator tools, all available on Kahoot. Today, we'll also be joined by Pekka, one of our pedagogy experts, to share more of the research that powers the Kahoot learning experience and curriculum behind the Kahoot learning portal and platform, an all-in-one solution. And we're also joined by a VIP guest, Dr. Carrie Stubbs, who is going to share a deep dive on how she approaches learning in ways that support classrooms with inclusivity and accessibility really as a priority. So speaking actually of inclusivity and access, I also wanted to touch base on a few housekeeping reminders and details to keep in mind so that you can continue accessing with me today. All of the sessions that you'll see starting from now through the end of the summit are being recorded. We'll share an event playlist after the fact so you can watch on demand, rewind, watch again, or even share with a colleague. You can find those event playlists and sessions in your email, like I said, or always on the Kahoot website, kahoot.com/webinars. So again, if you can't tune in line or tune in live, or even if you need to step away, no problem. We'll be right back here. You're always welcome to come back or find us again later. During this live stream today and with the on-demand recordings, we are so thrilled to have a live closed captioning team that's helping us to transcribe the audio from our sessions in live time. You're probably seeing that scroll across your screen as I'm talking, and a good reminder for me to slow down in case you need to check out these captions in a different language, more familiar and comfortable to you. We encourage you to check back for our on-demand recordings in which you'll be able to customize the subtitles and captions to be best fit for you. Should you need to take a break or step away from your screen during these sessions, again, no problems. You can rejoin the summit at any time, either on the YouTube page or on the event page that we were sent via email. And finally, and for some people, pretty importantly, anyone joining in today or anyone who's registered will receive a certificate of attendance that you can use to verify your participation in the summit. We love to see these on social media. Definitely encourage you to share it back with us, brag to your colleagues and to your community, and then also share it with your school admin or local admin and teaching staff so that you can verify your attendance for PD credits or even continuing education portfolios. We have a fantastic group of crew members that I know seem to be right now working on getting into the chat and answering the questions as you have them. But should you have any lingering questions, always feel free to get in touch with us, with the support team, or even on social media after the fact as well. So that was a lot to share. We're already a few minutes into the summit and so much still left to uncover. So let's jump into it. If you are new to Kahoot, welcome. Let this be your first hello and experience. But if you are a veteran Kahooter as well, welcome back. In either case, we have so many things to learn and connect and share on today. And I'm sure you'll see in live time with our speakers today, the many opportunities, experiences, and options that you have for using Kahoot are truly, truly endless. From a behind the screen perspective, on my end, we love to explore Kahoot through different outlets, categories, kind of groups and use cases of how Kahoot can be used. And we call these the core elements of the Kahoot experience. And just so we're all kind of on the same page and how this might look and share on, I did want to share it with you as well on kind of what you can expect for those core elements of Kahoot. So we have the options to create and discover. This is how you as a teacher might prepare lessons on Kahoot. You can prepare from existing learning games from our Discover page, any of our channel partners, curriculum partners, and publishers, or even, of course, with AI-powered tools. You have options to host live, kind of that viral opportunity, contagious learning, we like to say on Kahoot, where there's the lobby music playing, characters are showing, game modes are celebrated. That happens live in the classroom or even live through virtual learning experiences. We have options for student-paced and self-paced Kahoots. We call these assignments. Originally, they were challenges because they always challenge the individual learner at their own individualized, differentiated pace. And finally, our reporting tool really helps educators and admin alike to gather insights. You can see whole class data. You can see individual student progress. You can see trends of where your students might be celebrating success and achievement, or also where they need to review and reiterate previously taught or remembered or forgotten even concepts. So across these core elements, we'll really focus on how you're Kahooting, how your students are Kahooting, and what that Kahoot experience might look like for your classroom and your experience individually. But we've really only just scratched the surface in ways that Kahoot can really help make learning awesome. So at this point, I'm excited to hand over to a colleague of mine, Liz Crawford, who has much more expert perspective on all of the tools, features, and functions that help to create engaging learning for all, really. Welcome to the Summit, Liz. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. We're going to get started. I am going to be presenting in lecture mode today. So we're going to pull up a pin and a QR code for you to join my session, join my Kahoot. So I'll give you a few minutes. You can either scan the QR code there, or you can open the Kahoot app and enter the pin. But I'll give you just a second. We're going to have 2 questions as part of my session, so I would love for you to participate in that. And as we go, the moderators will be dropping some instructions in the chat as well in case you miss it. But let's go ahead and get started. So once again, welcome everyone. I'm Liz Crawford with Kahoot, the Director of Education. Thank you for spending your time with us today to learn more about Kahoot and what's new for Back to School 2025. We have a great agenda today that includes our pedagogical and product experts, amazing ambassadors, and an inspirational closing keynote from Dr. Carrie Stubbs, an expert in the field of education and neurodiverse students. And I'll be kicking it off with our new product announcements for Back to School, but my colleague Lavinia will be going into much greater detail on each of these announcements. So be sure you stick around. There's a lot of amazing things in this summit. But first, we'd like to get to know your experience with Kahoot a little better. So we're going to host a quick drop pin question. So get ready to drop a pin on a box that best describes your experience with Kahoot. And we are going to set the timer for 30 seconds. So go ahead and drop your pin on the box that best describes your experience with Kahoot. Got 45 answers coming in here, 76. Okay, this is great. Got about 15 seconds left. Let's drop your pins and then we will see how much experience our audience has. 3, 2, 1, about 344 answers. That's great. So let's take a look and see where the answers are. All right, we have a wide distribution here. This is great. We have some brand new to Kahoot folks, so welcome and thank you for joining. We have some true Kahooters as well on the right-hand side and a lot of people in the middle. That's great. Well, I hope by the end of the summit, you're inspired to move on down the row and possibly be a true Kahooter by the summit next year. So thank you for playing our first question. So let's dive in. Kahoot is famous for engagement. It's used by 8 million educators globally and millions of students. There were 100 million hosted Kahoot sessions and 1.2 billion participants. That's billion with a B, from schools around the world this past year. Kahoot is localized in 20 languages with a recent launch of Vietnamese and more languages planned for the future. While Kahoot is famous for engagement, it's so much more. It's one of the things I'm most excited about and proud of as a Kahoot employee, and it's the product's impact on student outcomes. A meta-analysis across 43 studies found that Kahoot enhances student outcomes, attitudes, motivation, and even lowers stress and anxiety with test taking. The research revealed that using Kahoot raises academic performance on a typical test by a full letter grade, and that's huge, a full letter grade. Kahoot is backed by independent research and industry certifications, and you're probably seeing some of our badges there on the slide. But they verify that using Kahoot significantly enhances students' learning outcomes, including the recent gold badge from the International Certification of Evidence of Impact in Education, the ISTE seal, ESSA Level 3 and ESSA Level 4, and there's more. So check out the link in the chat for our blog on Kahoot's research. As an example of impact on student outcomes, I want to quickly share a story about how Mrs. Hatch, a 5th grade teacher in Florida, is using Kahoot to do just that. So Ashley Hatch, if you're watching live, drop a note in the chat and say hi to everyone. With an AI-driven approach to instruction, Ashley has seen measurable improvement in her students' test scores. Her students achieved 72% proficiency in reading compared to 50% proficiency with other 5th grade classes in her school. She uses Kahoot about 5 to 10 minutes each day with her students and really focuses on using Kahoot's AI features to help create engaging content and quizzes. So thank you, Ashley. Okay, let's transition to what you've been waiting for, our product announcements for back to school. We have solutions for schools, districts, and higher education institutions, and features for teachers, faculty, and students to show you today. I'll give you the highlights, but be sure to stay on for Lavinia's session. She's one of our pedagogical experts and product designers and is going to walk you through all the new features in more detail. So for administrators and leaders, we have integrations with the major ecosystem platforms, including all the LMSs, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom, including a new LMS integration that launched live this week, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. And hot off the press, we have a new Kahoot EDU premium plan for large-scale deployments across multiple sites and scalable employee training. For educators, we have awesome presentation modes that enable you to deliver pedagogically sound lessons or introduce new topics with quizzes and questions together in one platform. And what everyone in EdTech is talking about, AI, of course. We've expanded our AI features to help educators save time, creating engaging Kahoots. Kahoot has more than 20 question types now, such as pin drop, word cloud, brainstorm, puzzle, and open-ended text, to name just a few. We've come a long way from multiple choice and true false with over 20 question types now. And students are loving Kahootopia, a whole class learning experience on a virtual island where students answer formative assessment questions as a class to grow their island, and they receive rewards and move up a level and work together. And you'll learn more about other tools for students, such as solo studying and test prep, and how students can use their future-ready skills to create and present their own Kahoots. So going back one slide, let's get started with admins and leaders. Let's dive into our solutions for school, district, and higher education administrators and leaders. I love this quote from Fernando Herrera Gallardo at a university in Chile, and especially the term enablers of knowledge. He says, introducing Kahoot EDU across faculty is part of our strategy to become enablers of knowledge. We want our students to be capable of maximizing their learning potential through the use of game-based learning experiences. Okay, moving to the next slide. Kahoot EDU has evolved into a robust platform that can be deployed at scale for schools, districts, and higher education institutions with our Kahoot EDU plans, and it has benefits that touch all stakeholders. So as you know, it's an amazing tool for formative assessment. It has AI features, curriculum alignment and tagging, and it provides valuable data insights. It has technical integrations with the most used ecosystem platforms in education. It's a great solution for delivering professional learning to your faculty and making professional learning engaging for educators too. It has a lot of options for students to develop agency in their learning, from playing solo, preparing for tests, and working together as a whole class to achieve rewards in Kahootopia. And what I'm passionate about, accessibility features to support differentiating learning. So moving on, hopefully, you know, if you are a school leader, a university leader, or an administrator, hopefully you know about our Kahoot EDU Standard and Pro plans. These are for institutional deployments. Your school, or district, or college will receive robust and comprehensive features and deployment support with these two products, including all the question types, all the AI functionality, player IDs and reporting, and student passes. More on student passes at the end of my session. With the EDU Pro product, you receive even more, including premium content, ready-made Kahoots, single sign-on support, and LMS integrations. So with these EDU plans, you can equip every educator and student with a scalable Kahoot experience. And if you're using an LMS, such as Canvas, D2L, Blackboard, Schoology, or Google Classroom, the LTI integration with Kahoot EDU Pro creates a seamless learning experience for students across the platforms that you're using. So don't miss the opportunity to use the integration with your LMS and have a seamless experience. Okay, next, we're now going to introduce Kahoot EDU Premium for the first time. This is a really exciting new plan for large-scale deployments across universities, districts, and even countries or statewide deployments. In addition to all the benefits in EDU Standard and Pro, Premium enables up to 40,000 Kahoot licenses across multiple sites and the ability to aggregate data and reporting from those multiple sites. So this is a brand new plan. As district and higher ed institutions deliver professional development and training, now with the scalability of Premium, that means leaders can offer large-scale training for obviously for your teaching staff, but it enables you to offer training for your non-teaching staff live or asynchronously. And this is really exciting. With this new plan, you can also author and publish your own branded content on Kahoot channels. So an awesome plan if you are at a very large university district or are thinking about some type of state or countrywide deployment and part of those planning processes. Be sure to check this out after the summit. Okay, let's move on to ecosystem integrations. We are really proud to share all of the integrations we've built with the major platforms in education over the past year. From the most used LMSs to Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams. And I'm excited to share with you that the Schoology integration is now live as of this week. So if you're using Schoology as your LMS, we're ready to see the Kahoot integration there. And we're starting work to enable grade passback for our Google Classroom add-on, which was a request from our customers who use Google Classroom and Kahoot together. I don't have a specific launch date for that, so stay tuned, but we are starting work on that now. And next, with our commitment to building integrations across the ecosystem, we're happy to share that we've earned the Trusted App certification for data privacy from One Ed Tech, which sets the industry standard in data privacy for integrations. And this means Kahoot was tested and found to be interoperable with other certified EdTech products, such as the learning management systems. And it meets specific data and privacy standards. Another new certification we earned in April is the Common Sense Privacy Seal, and this seal recognizes Kahoot's commitment to protecting user data and maintaining the highest privacy standards for educators, students, and organizations worldwide. And in case you're wondering, yes, that is me in the photo there. We're very proud of our commitment to transparency and responsible data use, and so wanted to share this with you today, that it's a continued focus for us. Okay, moving on to single sign-on. You may know that Kahoot and Clever are in the same family. Kahoot acquired Clever back in 2021, and Clever is the leading single sign-on solution in education in the US and expanding globally. Clever improves security and enables students to seamlessly access the Kahoot app from the Clever portal with single sign-on. So if you're using Clever and haven't yet connected Kahoot to your Clever portal, please be sure to do so. The Kahoot EDU Basic plan is a free plan available on Clever. Okay, now next, this is one of my topics I'm most passionate about, which is differentiating learning for all students. We know that each student learns in their own unique way, and that differentiation is key to ensuring that students can engage with learning experiences that support their needs. Educators use Kahoot specifically to engage students with special needs or learning challenges, and the students absolutely love it. I met a teacher in New York City who's working with a 13-year-old autistic girl, and she absolutely loves Kahoot at the end of her session. And so I think there are a lot of students out there who are finding all the benefits in the fun and gamification while they're learning. Gamification makes learning fun, and the accessible and customizable features enable educators to deliver quality, differentiated learning for all students. So these are some of our accessibility features on this slide. I won't read them all, you can read them there. But for students with visual impairments, Read Aloud actually reads the text in the question or the answer to students. Educators can design Kahoots with images as questions and answers for students with reading difficulties, and can also turn on the question and answers to appear on the student devices so that it's a little bit easier for students to make the connection between what's on the bigger screen than what's on their devices in front of them, or if they're sitting in the back of the classroom, a little bit easier for them to read as well. The multimodalities of Kahoot enable students to show their knowledge in a variety of ways, and Kahoot's game modes help neurodiverse students with focus and concentration. So when each student can engage in the way they learn best, they unlock their learning potential, they build confidence, and they contribute their own strengths to the classroom, and that enriches the learning experience for all. We recently posted a blog called The Top 10 Ways to Make Learning More Inclusive and Accessible, and we'll drop the link in the chat for you. And we, of course, have more information on our website on features for accessibility and special education. So check out our website too if you would like more information on this. So on the next slide, and in the continued spirit of today's theme, engaged learning for all, this is a wonderful quote from an English teacher, Fran Garcia in Spain. He shares that Kahoot is a tool that allows teachers in his high school to connect better with all types of students, and it has helped him make learning more inclusive. I'll pause for just a few seconds to give you a moment to read the quote. So I'll pause just for a sec. Okay, and to wrap up this theme, be sure to stay around for our closing keynote from Dr. Carrie Stubbs from Stages Learning. She's going to discuss the changing educational landscape for neurodiverse students globally and inspire us to come together to support all students. And in fact, her keynote is titled All Means All. So stay tuned, it's a really powerful session. Okay, let's talk about educators. Let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about educator tools for effective teaching and productivity. This is a quote from Indian Hill School District that reinforces that Kahoot has evolved into a robust platform for teaching and learning, and it helps create dynamic classroom experiences. So on the next slide, we're going to talk about the hottest topic in EdTech, as I mentioned earlier, which is AI for educators. We have expanded our AI features specifically to help educators save time creating engaging Kahoots. Educators are telling us these tools are saving them approximately 45 minutes to an hour in creating Kahoots and lesson prep. And we've recently announced that AI features are now more widely available in the teacher's subscriptions, starting in Bronze, making AI more accessible to more educators. So I encourage you to check out our educator plans and all the AI features that are available in Kahoot EDU as well. And don't worry, you'll see a deeper dive on these AI features in the product session. Okay, next is accuracy mode. We recently announced accuracy mode, and it has quickly become the most popular mode educators use because it removes the time element and focuses on students answering with mastery, not with speed. It's about encouraging students to do their best without the pressure of being first or the pressure of getting on the podium, which has been great for students who have a little bit of anxiety about the timer or just need more time to answer questions. Accuracy mode is a pedagogically sound approach along with our type answer questions to really assess knowledge and help students prepare for the tests. And it's free for everyone. The next topic is lecture mode. Lecture mode is what I'm using today for my presentation. It's an effective presentation mode in which a presenter can use slides and questions together. And it's ideal for introducing new material and new concepts. And it's also helpful for instructors to pace lectures effectively and minimize distractions while keeping students engaged. And in support of these presentation modes, on the next slide, you'll see that we have, this is a brand new feature that we're announcing, is our question and answer. So in combination with presentation modes, we have a brand new feature, question and answers, and Q&A is a functionality as a cornerstone of engaging presentations, and it really enhances any class, meeting, training, event into an engaging two-way experience. So the Q&A feature allows participants to submit questions while the host displays and engages with them in real time on the big screen. And later this summer, we'll have the functionality to support Q&A moderation. So more to come there, but this is an exciting addition to our presentation modes. And then finally, in the wrapping up the educator section of this presentation is reporting and analytics. And this is really the icing on the cake for educators to see the data and analytics for their Kahoots and for their students, and then being able to make actionable data-informed decisions about students' progress and instructional content. Educators can see trends, specific questions or topics that students missed, where students are struggling or where they're successful, and it really enables them to determine next steps and how to differentiate learning. Educators can also assign Kahoots to individual students for extra practice. The combination of what you've seen here for educators, AI features, presentation modes, Q&A for engagement, and reporting make this an ideal toolkit for educators. Okay, and I'm heading into the end of my session, but we really want to talk about students. This is a quote from Inez Mana at East Meadow School District, who said, "Kahoot is not just a teacher-led platform, but it can be a student-led platform as well." So let's transition to talk about Kahoot as a student-led platform. On the next slide, this is one of the most exciting features for K-12 students, and it's Kahootopia. And so if you're using Kahootopia, drop in the chat how your students are responding and engaging and collaborating in the class with this particular feature. It's pretty amazing. It's a whole class learning experience where students answer formative assessment questions as a class and move up levels and grow their virtual island and earn rewards. It creates a very collaborative and fun whole class experience as they receive rewards by working together. And it really includes all the students in the classroom. They're all able to participate without the pressure of time constraints or with the podium. So it's really fun. And once again, Lavinia is going to go into more depth on student study tools in her upcoming session. Okay, and the next student tool is Student Passes. They are an amazing way to give students access to the full version of Kahoot. You can click to the next slide here to enable them to create their own Kahoots. They can share what they know. They can collaborate with classmates and peers, and it gives them access to all of our learning apps, which include Dragonbox for math and Poyo for literacy. Okay, let's do another pin drop question as we wrap up my session. And if you're not logged into the Kahoot, let's go ahead and scan the QR code and open the Kahoot app to enter your pin. So do we have the next Kahoot queued up? No? Okay, well, we can certainly wrap up. Thank you for your time and engagement, and stay tuned for even more exciting info. Thank you for being a part of the Kahoot EDU Summit, and enjoy your summer if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. So I will turn it back to Hannah. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. It looks like that last question wasn't showing up, but no problem, because I know that there's lots to still recap, and that's what our chat and conversation is for. So if my mind reading in ESP was correct, I had some inklings that the question might have been your favorite feature or what you're most excited for. So as my colleague Lavinia joins us and has some ideas on what features might be her favorites, I saw lots of conversations already in the chat about what is most exciting or what has been most exciting to your students, maybe even your colleagues and classmates and peers. Kahootopia is really exciting. Accuracy mode is really exciting. Wonderful to know that we are so excited in general about what's new at Kahoot for the 2025 back to school year, or even how you've already started using these newest features in the end of your school year. lots of ideas and excitement around the leagues happening on accuracy mode, again, class islands. Wonderful. So much to cover, so much to say, and experience. And in my personal opinion, something we haven't even touched on already is the AI-based creator tools and AI-supported tools, all part of the creator experience and how we might create even more awesome learning content with more and more ease. So in case you haven't been sold on that tool already, or if you're still kind of getting acclimated to the Kahoot AI experience, this is my cue to shimmy off stage and welcome Max to take it from here and share kind of this Kahoot AI experience himself. He happens to be a professional, if I do say so myself. So I will let him take it from here and we'll continue on. Welcome, Max.
Hey. Hi, everyone. My name is Max Rutkowski, and I'm a Kahoot ambassador in Ukraine. Today, when I was thinking about what to do and how to do, I wanted to share something that many people overlook. I wanted to share something really interesting with you, and this is my personal experience. So I'll start my presentation right now. I'm a strong believer that every Kahoot I run is a basically blueprint for learning, and it's not just a quiz. I'm a Kahoot ambassador in Ukraine, and I help educators in purposeful game-based practice during a period of, well, in Ukraine, constant disruption. And unfortunately, it's true that when classes can shift online at any moment and in a second. I'm also a vice principal at Ukrainian Global School. I'm using Kahoot for myself, and I'm supporting my colleagues across all subjects. And today I'd like to share my personal experience on how to turn your routine lesson planning into an impactful and recognizable teacher brand through structured Kahoot design. Let me ask you a quick question. What students do remember about the school when they graduate? Is it worksheets? Probably not. The textbook? Not really. What they remember is you. They remember your energy, they remember your voice, they remember the way you're making them feel curious, challenged, and confident. We're living in an era where presence matters. Musicians, well, they have Spotify's. Writers, they have Substract. And teachers, we do have Kahoot. Because Kahoot, it isn't just a quiz platform. It's your teaching signature. It's a tool that can help you design, share, and amplify the way you teach. And today, I want to show you how you can use Kahoot, not just to boost engagement, but to build your personal teaching brand. You have seen the video, right? It isn't about self-promotion. It's about creating a meaningful, recognizable learning experience and doing it intentionally, consistently, and publicly. So let's break this down. What is a teaching brand? Well, obviously not logos, not cool videos on TikTok, not interesting YouTube videos. A teaching brand is the recognition of your personal pedagogical identity, because I believe that every teacher has a pedagogical identity, basically like our fingerprint. It's when students say, oh, it must be Mr. Max's quiz. He always tricks us on the third question. That's what I actually do. There's always a question with a trick that my students already kind of expect from me. It's when your colleagues open your Kahoot collection and say, wow, this is gold. I'm using it tomorrow. And it is when the school leadership sees your students are consistently engaged, improving, and talking about your lessons. That's what brand is. Brand is built when your teaching style is recognizable, your resources are reliable, and the most important, your voice is trusted. And the trust is you already have a brand. The only question is, are you shaping it, or is it forming by accident? Kahoot gives you a unique platform to take control, to turn your everyday practice into a consistent and high impactful experience. So let's be clear. You can't build a brand without content, right? In teaching, content is the product. Your Kahoot library is your curriculum fingerprint. That's what I like to tell to my teachers. Each quiz, each series, each course, each challenge tells the world how you think, how you teach, and how and what you care about. This isn't about vanity. That's what when I create my Kahoots, when I create media for my Kahoots, at first glance, some teachers say, oh, you're putting too many emojis of yourself, too many bitmojis of yourself. I say that my Kahoots reflects my values, my structure, my pedagogical goals. And the most important, that my students feel that, my colleagues recognize that, and that helps your impact to grow. Kahoot allows you to produce fast, smart, and scalable content, but only if you build with purpose. So how do we do that? Let's walk through 5 essential steps. Each step will help you turn your daily lesson plan into brand building without adding extra hours. Kahoot AI helps us. Just a smarter design. My first suggestion is don't just reuse, don't just remix. Make your own Kahoots. Why? Because when your students play something you made with your examples, your humor, your question, it's memorable. They already know what kind of person you are. So when they see this in your Kahoots, they feel valuable. Your emotions, your humor, it carries your voice. For example from my English literacy class. So instead of generic vocabulary quiz or comprehension sessions, I create a Kahoot around the story we read in our textbooks. And one question could ask, what does the word defiant suggest about the character's mindset in paragraph 2? Another, which adjective could replace gloomy without changing the tone? Now the quiz reinforces the context, not just definitions. It's aligned, specific and personal. Science teacher can do this too. For example, take real lab data from your class, from your lab work that you have done, and build a quiz around the analysis. History teachers use student essays to create cause-effect puzzles. Math-based questions on common mistake your class made last week. Let them fix what they got wrong and basically celebrate that growth together. The point is that original content isn't extra work. It's strategic reuse of what you already teach. Every great teacher has a teaching accent. It's like when English language teachers understand me, yeah? When we read a story, when we write a story, we're talking about a voice of author. Basically, it's a rhythm, a voice, a method. What I try to say that your Kahoots should reflect that. Maybe your style is fast-paced and playful, or maybe it's slow, deep, and deliberate. Maybe you always open with a trick question, or maybe you use emojis in every answer option. That's me, emojis everywhere. You need to establish that format, stick with it. Personally, what I do, I switched my lessons to Kahoot. I use a 3-phase model. I break down my Kahoots into 3 phases. First is warm up. Basically, quick recall, 5 questions, can be yes, no question or quiz, and we're done with it. Then, as we go, it's a challenge. 10 thinking tasks. My students analyze, my students reflect, and so on. Then we do meta round. 3 questions reflecting on strategy. And those 3 questions, they help me to sum up and wrap up my lesson when I get a proper report in the end and I can really reflect on my learning. And this structure becomes familiar. Students anticipate the phases. They learn the rhythm. Why students learn gamification? Why learn video games? Because when you put video game in a lesson and your students know that mechanics, know the mechanics of quests, know the mechanics of tasks they need to complete, because they know what to expect, they know what to do. If you use the same approach in your class, when you put them into phases they already know and they got familiar with, your experience will be different, trust me. And the rhythm I chose, it became mine through all our classes I teach. And basically it became the part of me and the part of how I teach. One suggestion: build series, not one-offs. And it is a mindset shift. Don't think of quizzes, think in seasons. Think of it's like a TV show. If you are teaching a unit, break it down. And if you're teaching a unit, for example, on adjectives, don't make one Kahoot and put everything together. Make it a mini series. For example, episode 1, adjective basis. Episode 2, adjectives in content. Episode 3, descriptive writing challenge. And that creates narrative. And that's what students love. For my personal experience, I use Kahoot courses. I create a meaningful series of modules, and I call them episodes, where my students learn and go through information. Those are not just Kahoots that I use. Those are YouTube videos. Those are stories that Kahoot AI helps me to generate. Those are some documents I want them to go through. And of course, Kahoots for each season or each episode. So basically what you're doing is you're filling your portfolio that you can reuse, that your colleagues can reuse. And when students see that, when the students see the pattern that you're using from day to day, they know what comes next. They are prepared. The only suggestion, what I've noticed with my students, and then I've done small research around the school, is that do not use a long, boring videos. We are living in an era of TikTok. We are living in the era of YouTube Shorts. So when you're thinking about putting a YouTube video in your Kahoot or in your course, think about it and use the 30-second style. Because nowadays, generation of these kids, their brain is able to take information and to grasp the information within 30 seconds. Everything past that, forget about it. So right now, Kahoot helps me to stay organized because I have my courses, I have my Kahoots, I have my stories. And basically, instead of reinventing, you're just iterating. And instead of starting from scratch, you're building an ecosystem. And once you have that series, it becomes reusable, adaptable, and shareable, the most important. So basically, that's a brand scaffolding. Running a Kahoot is not just press start and watch them play. I like to call it, an orchestration. And the real magic happens in how you use the moments between the question. From my personal experience, again, when I do the webinars for Ukrainian educators, I always try to share what worked for me. And with Kahoot, I like to say that the way you use the platform is the imagination is your limit. It can be adapted as much as you can. So my personal experience is when you get 90% wrong on a question, I do not proceed. I ask why. If needed, I show the media. If needed, I write on the board and we start the discussions. When the answers are split, we start debate. That's the perfect tool to kickstart, especially if you're ESL, EFL teacher and you want your children to use language. That's the great start to do that. When they're starting to debate, I want them to express themselves. I want them to prove their point. And that's the peer correct. And when somebody scores and the only person gets correct answer, it's a perfect moment for peer instruction. I asked that person, come out, explain. I was working with one brilliant educator from Canada, Patrick McManus, and he told me one phrase that I still remember. I was a young educator back days. He told me, Max, remember, you can be a PhD, you can be the best educator in the world, but you never would explain a complex material to a student better than a student who understands it. So when I do Kahoot slides, I basically broke down, and we have a rule with my kids that we have 3 emojis. First emojis is heart. It means great, I got it all, and I'm able to explain what have I learned just now. The second emoji is thumbs up. It means I got it, but there is one question I would like to ask. The rule here on submitting those emojis, when you send thumbs up, the students should come up with a question. And I ask the person who understood, explain this to the person who has one question. And the last emoji, it was the shocked face, I think. Is I completely do not understand. Then what I do after this, I put them in small groups and mix them and ask them, hey, explain this to your friends. And it works really good. So basically, Kahoot provides you data in real time. Use that to teach and use different modes. What I use is classic for recall, team mode for collaboration, accuracy mode for tracking growth, and slide and questions for full mini lessons. And trust me, those are real gems. You can build an entire lesson using Kahoot AI. Upload your presentation, use Kahoot as a platform to broadcast it. After the presentation is imported, ask Kahoot AI to generate questions to this presentation. And the best part is that the question will be added after the slide where the information for question was taken. That makes it interactive. You instruct and you teach about the information on a slide, and then right after the slide, your students get a question to check their comprehension. And in addition, in the end of the class, you're getting a full report with students' performance. Great, isn't it? So basically, your brand isn't just what you publish, it's how you facilitate with presence, pacing, and pedagogy. Every quiz you create is a digital asset, and don't let it leave in silence. After you teach, save the Kahoot to your library, download the reports, screenshot top moments, track class progress over time, cover the names, and share it in educator groups. Post it on your professional channels with online context, not because you want followers, but because you want impact. And each shared Kahoot says, this is how I teach. This is what I believe works. And when someone else saves it or adapts it, it means your brand grows. When your students see you praise them not only in class, but outside of it, it builds a stronger bond between you and your kids. I've had our school teachers congratulate my kids with their victory in challenging Kahoot grammar battles we hold every Friday. Like grade 7 student ran to me and said, Mr. Max, I felt so cool when Mr. V came up and congratulated me. And I see that spark in his eyes because he feels valuable, you know? He knows that something he does in my class, it extends beyond that. So this is a really, really good connection. Also, you might be thinking, okay, that's great, Max, but that's great for English. But what about my other subjects? So let's break the myth. Kahoot is for every discipline. That's what I try to teach to my colleagues here. And basically, what you just need is to map your content into interaction. For math, reorder equation with puzzle mode. Create spot a mistake questions with pin the answer. Visualize functions through image reveal. Geography is one of the best. Map quizzes with zoom images or pin the answer. Climate zones, sort by continent, landmark identification via slides, plus question. In science, what I tell my teachers is that label parts of a cell, cause and effect, what happens if, and use GIFs to show process. In art, our teacher was probably one of the hardest ones. They told me, Max, it's art. How do we use it? Besides, like, what this painting, who painted this picture, or who painted that picture. And what we did is we adjusted the way they presented. Right now, they can identify style of an artist. They can match music clip to a composer. They can compare brush strokes or themes. For many ways to use Kahoot, and the only limit is your imagination. Every class, every lesson plan can be adapted. With foreign languages, it's obviously easy vocabulary with images. Listening audio plus prompts. Kahoot does it. Input the text and it would read it for you. For advisory, we have like situation questions. What would you do if? Mood checks via polls like I'll show you a video later in the end of this Kahoot where we had a Kahoot day. Our entire school ran completely on Kahoot. No textbooks, nothing. Just a gadget and a teacher with prepared Kahoot series. So Kahoots, this isn't about tech for tech's sake. It's about making thinking visible, just like John Hattie say, yeah, thinking and learning visible. And that's what it does in every subject, in every class, every day. So why does this matter? Because our students, they just don't need just information. They live in a world where any sort of information is at their fingerprints. What they really need is connection. They need structure. They need to feel that school is, well, one of my students once said, I feel the school is just a factory. Well, we need to prove them wrong. We need to understand, we need to teach them using Kahoot that it's a place where teachers care enough to design experience with intention. When your Kahoots are tailored, sequenced, and facilitated and shared, students start seeing you not just a content deliverer, content giver, but as a designer of learning. And that's branding, not for ego, but for impact. And right now, if Kahoot team could help me and show the video, of our UGS Kahoot Day. I would really appreciate that because I wanted to share with you that experience of how it went, what it was, because the feedback I got from my students was just beyond belief. They all got super excited. They all got super, super happy. They just ran to me and said, Mr. Max, hey, when we're doing this? When we're doing this again? So, Kahoot team. So that was our elementary school. That was our elementary school, and they lived the day through Kahoot. If you like, go follow UGS on Instagram and see the other days. And I'm a really strong believer that every teacher, every school can turn their education into something more. So let's come back to where we started. You already teach, you already design tasks, you already care deeply about your students' growth. Kahoot is simply a way to take that care, that craft, and scale it. So do not just use Kahoot, build with it, curate with it, reflect with it, and most of all, share it. Because when your students recognize your teaching style, when your colleagues start borrowing your ideas, when your classroom becomes known for engagement, clarity, and depth, that's no longer teacher. That's what I tell to all my teachers at school and my webinars. That's no longer just teaching, that's your brand. and it's time to own it. Thank you very much. Hannah, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Max. And what a true testament to awesome teaching and effective instruction if students aren't just a part of the lesson plan or reading from a textbook or on a worksheet, but they're fully immersed in the learning experience because you, as an educator, created that whole body, whole mind, whole world experience as we saw in the elementary school. And as Max was sharing, he helped to do this all the way from the littlest learners in kindergarten and reception years, all the way up to high school. I'll drop a link in the chat shortly in case you want to get a recap on all that happened across the ages and across the grade levels, because as he explained, you can use Kahoot in any curriculum. And I know we had some participants saying the same, that they use it for everything from math problems to vocab and experiences. And I know, Max, there are some questions for you in the YouTube chat as well directly in case you want to pop over and answer. But thank you for sharing that inspiration. As someone was saying, that is great inspiration for us. And I feel the same. So we're so glad to have you here and really sharing how Kahoot can be part of your entire school day. But in case you aren't quite sure where to start and what feature speaks to you the most and want kind of a recap of all of the tools across the Kahoot experience, as Liz hinted at it before, we're next going to be joined by one of our all-star crew members, Lavinia, who is going to share all the things behind the screen that we've been working on. And I have to say, a word of caution and disclaimer to please buckle up. We are at full steam ahead for awesome learning powered by AI creator tools, as Max was mentioning, ever engaging game modes, and so many ultimate tools for class collaboration with Kahootopia and Class Islands that I know we had many participants excited for already. So welcome, Lavinia. I will hand over to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Hannah. Hello, everyone. I am Lavinia Jekan, and I'm the community director here at Kahoot. Wow, I have to say, what a presentation, Max. I will try to step up my game and show to all of our amazing educators how you can actually build up on everything that Max just showed a few minutes earlier, how you can actually use all the features that we have prepared for you. So today, I will be taking you through a deep dive into what's new at Kahoot right now. But also, I will be taking a sneak peek at what you can expect for the back-to-school season. We have prepared a lot of fantastic updates to cover today, so I will jump right in. We'll be exploring new features for creating Kahoots, presenting and playing with your students, ready-made content and our amazing content partners, and finally, some great self-study features for your students. We consistently hear from you, educators, that time is precious and there is so little time for planning. So that's why the AI generator has quickly become a favorite time saver. We've been busy expanding its capabilities, allowing you to generate Kahoots from open prompts by uploading PDFs from any website and trusted sources like Wikipedia. All of these AI creation methods are currently live on our platform. So let's look a bit closer. One way to create is by simply typing a prompt and start creating. You can generate Kahoots in over 50 different languages. And here is a pro tip for you. If you need content aligned to specific learning objectives, you can simply copy-paste your curriculum standard directly into the prompt and let AI generate questions tailored exactly to that standard, and you can have great review or formative assessment activity in just seconds. Sometimes you need questions based only on specific material. For that, you can upload any PDF, and our AI will create relevant questions directly from your document. This is fantastic. I mean, you can ensure questions come straight from the text your students are already studying. And for that, we've also partnered with Wikipedia. So you can create Kahoots directly from the articles, ensuring you are using transparent and trusted information sources. Next up, a brand new feature we are very excited about, extracting questions directly from a PDF. We know many of you have fantastic existing materials with great questions. So now the question extractor can actually pull those questions and answer options from your document. You can then host the game live or assign it for students needing differentiated activities, a very quick way to Kahootify your trusted resources. We've also enhanced our integration capabilities. So now you have support for OneDrive and PowerPoint, as well as Google Drive and Slides. This means that you can easily import your existing teaching materials and sync them directly into your Kahoot. If you edit your slides in PowerPoint or Google Slides, those changes then sync to Kahoot, so you don't have to do the work twice. And while you're syncing those existing materials, you can use AI to instantly add interactivity. Kahootify your slides to boost engagement on the spot. You can quickly add questions to check for understanding, insert polls or discussion starters, and ensure every student gets a chance to share their thoughts and ideas. We have also launched Kahoot AI Experiences. This expands on how you can use AI. So beyond using a prompt, website, and so on as a source, you can now also choose the type of learning experience you want to generate. For example, maybe you want to create a micro lesson, which creates slides explaining concepts with questions to check understanding. Or maybe you just want to create a very quick basic quiz, focusing on multiple choice questions. Alternatively, maybe you want to create a full test, featuring advanced question types that don't scaffold with answer options. Perfect for practicing for high-stakes exams where students really need to recall information. Last but not least, maybe you're looking into creating a presentation with Kahoot, which includes more explanatory slides, discussion prompts, and interactive questions. Every experience creates a different type of Kahoot. So my suggestion is to just go and play around a bit and test different types of experiences to find the one that fits your lesson best. We understand that AI adoption varies across countries and districts. While some AI policies are still changing or in the making, we want to ensure everyone can continue to use Kahoot. That's why admins now have the ability to turn off AI features if needed. This allows teachers to keep using Kahoot with their students regardless of their current AI policies. One more exciting AI update. We've partnered with Microsoft Copilot PC. This means you can now generate Kahoots directly from your local document on this device. It's another step towards making content creation faster and more seamless than ever. So those were our latest AI tools designed to help you save valuable time. Quite a lot, right? Now let's shift our focus a little bit, and I will show you how to present in an engaging way to your students and during the learning process. So what's new when it comes to game modes? We've launched several cool game modes with different pedagogical goals. Some are, as you know, self-paced like Tallest Tower and Treasure Trove, so students can take their time to answer the questions and keep practicing hard ones. Others are more collaborative like Robot Run, so it's less about competition. This year, we have 2 new game modes and a bunch of new features. So first, let me show you the new features. We've expanded support for our most popular question types with these game modes. So now, alongside multiple choice, you can also use puzzles, type answers, true or false, and a slider to add even more variety and engagement to your Kahoots. Also, new are game reports for all game modes. We've just launched this, so you can now fully track student understanding and growth across every type of Kahoot experience you host. Game mode reports are as any report from a Kahoot game is free for teachers, so it's a must-have tool to check throughout the year to see where students might need more support from you. Liz has mentioned earlier the accuracy mode, and this was a game mode request directly from you, our beloved teachers. This game mode functions just like the classic mode, but with a key difference. Players are rewarded only for correct answers and not for speed. It's great for classrooms where some students are accurate, but maybe not as quick to answer. So with accuracy mode, those students get to shine on the podium. It's also great for situations where you want students to take their time, like solving complex math problems. For these tougher questions, consider maybe adding extra time for answering and use a precision-focused question type like type answer, for example. So whenever you want the students to take their time to answer questions accurately, not necessarily quickly, try out accuracy mode, which is also free for all teachers. You also experienced lecture mode during Liz's presentation earlier. This allows you to focus more on content, conversations, and explanations while still embedding interactive questions to keep students engaged. You have more control over the pace than in classic mode, and you can hide or show, up to you, the scoreboard and podium as you see it fits. It's great for all grade levels when the focus is more on discussion and reflection than competition, and we've received excellent feedback, especially from higher education. Plus, we've just launched a new Q&A feature for lecture mode, so students can send you questions during your lecture that you can answer where there is a good moment for you as a host. If lecture mode tones down a little some gamified elements, our partner game modes bring on the fun full force. We have amazing partners like Sanrio, who brought us Hello Kitty and Friends. Other game modes also feature the timeless charm of Snoopy and laugh out loud humor with SpongeBob SquarePants, as well as the characters from Mr. Man and Little Miss. You can find all these engaging games on the Discover page. All right, now it's time to see what's new in Kahootopia. For those new to it, Kahootopia is our classroom tool designed to track learning and celebrate growth together. It's all about highlighting all learners, not just those on the podium, but building your class island and you learn collectively. On Kahootopia, you create an island for your class. It starts small, but as your students play Kahoots and learn together, their shared island grows and evolves, visually representing their collective progress. We launched Kahootopia late last year, and we are continuously releasing new rewards and achievements. We've been adding new buildings to represent different topics your students are learning, as well as diverse rewards for various collaborative activities. We've had quite a bit of fun with all the seasonalities throughout the year as well. For example, you can see here on the left side a Halloween event. Also, we had a harvest and holiday events. So each season brings its own unique achievements for your class to collect. It's a reason to come back. Brand new to Kahootopia are the leagues. We've just launched them, enabling your class to engage in a friendly competition with other classrooms from all over the globe. We have students playing Kahoots all over the world, so your students get to play against other students, maybe from the opposite corner of the world. So this is a great way to build this big global learning community that we are all very proud of. Also new is the time machine. As the school year is wrapping up for many of you, this is a perfect time to reflect on all the learning you've done. Clicking the time machine on your island will generate a summary animation of your students' learning journey and island building progress. You'll get fun stats, making their year of learning visible and celebrating their achievements. So be sure to try it out before moving to holidays. Looking ahead to back to school, yes, I'm already thinking of back to school. We'll be releasing Kahootopia assignments. As you might know, currently island building happens through live games only. But we've heard, especially from students, that they love to continue learning independently and still contribute to the island. So soon you'll be able to assign Kahoots and students will learn, you'll be able to assign Kahoots and students will earn achievements to the island through self-study too. So as you can see, there are many, many new ways to play, create, and engage. So as a next step, I will take a quick look at some updates from our Discover page and our very cool and fun partners. You might have noticed already our new Discover page, where it's easier now to find ready-made Kahoots for any occasion. If you need to boost your week, your Monday Energizer is just one example to add some excitement to your week. We're also proud to highlight the fantastic content from our growing list of partners. You will find popular brands that students love, but also dedicated content-specific channels for even easier navigation. All this content is professionally created, curated, and ready to play. It's all about quality, convenience, and endless possibility for interactive learning. This is honestly one of my favorite updates, launching very, very soon. You'll finally be able to search for content using curriculum standards. We're starting with support for Common Core and Next Generation Science standards, with plans to scale to other standards as well. You'll also find ready-made curriculum-aligned content created by other educators, verified creators, and our amazing content partners. We believe this will simplify how you find the right content for your students exactly when you need it. And lastly, but certainly not least, let's look at our latest self-study features for your students. We've launched several self-study experiences, including the new Learn Micro-Learning mode. It offers a faster and more student-friendly way to learn independently. Flashcards, of course, remain a great way to review, as well as the solo game mode still. And it's good to know that you can host any Kahoot in a live game, but the same Kahoot can be played in solo modes, for example, as flashcards. So you don't need to create new content, but just launch the same game in different ways. Our dedicated math games team has also launched several mini games playable individually or together as a class. You can find them directly on the Kahoot website or Kahoot app. These games offer a fun approach to tackling key math concepts that can be tricky, like fractions or multiplication. They are particularly great for primary grades, so do check them out. The newest release coming soon is also Kahoot Coding. This is a game where students play against friends to collect stars by creating instructions for their virtual pet, introducing coding concepts in a fun and competitive way. Now, we've covered math, so soon we will be launching Kahoot Language Learning. This will introduce new manipulatives and interactive questions where students can play with words and learn vocabulary in a new, fun way. We're planning to release learning paths for over 50 different languages, so do stay tuned for that. This exciting list of offerings ends our tour through a lot of new features. It's been a lot of new features, but we are very much looking forward to having you try them all. Don't worry if you missed anything. The main takeaway is that we are constantly working to make Kahoot more powerful, easier to use, and more engaging for you and for your students. Thank you very much for listening. Now back to you, Hannah.
Thank you so much, Lavinia, and awesome to hear all the feedback and positive reviews and sharing on what's coming at Kahoot. And not to put you on the hot seat, I know you just went through a whirlwind of presentations, but as we gear up for back to school and kind of start thinking about curriculum, do you have a favorite tool or feature that you're most excited about?
It's a tough one, Hannah. But I would say the Kahootopia Leagues. I think imagine. I'm from Romania, so by the way, I'm saluting all the fellow Romanians who might be watching right now. But imagine having your students play Kahoot and compete in a friendly, playful, safe setting with other students that might be from the other side of the world. I mean, how cool that is, right? So I think that would be my choice.
And I think a lot of people feel the same. I'm seeing Gabby said that fifth graders are getting competitive with their islands, even though they have different quizzes and maybe they're learning different topics. It's so fun to kind of add in that friendly competition, but be supported and celebrated by your class, your peers, and your classmates all the same. And I guess my favorite isn't too far from yours. I'm really excited about the Kahootopia assignments so that students and players can be reinforced for studying and preparing at home. So much of kind of that student autonomy and intrinsic motivation that you teach at the youngest ages will really be supported and reinforced if they're then contributing back to their community and to their class. So I'm excited for kind of the direction of Kahootopia, period. Thank you so much for sharing. And as you said, the whirlwind of tools and so much to share and so much to celebrate and think about. And of course, we have lots new to celebrate, but I also think it's important to kind of remember our roots and where Kahoot came from as a foundation. And no matter really what you're most excited about, to always lean back on and think about the foundations back to the basics of awesome learning. And perhaps that could even be the continued reason that our educators and teachers rely on Kahoot year after year. But I will say, don't take it from me. I might be a little bit impartial and biased, but Lauren is here to share her origin story with Kahoot. In fact, she started using Kahoot as a student, as a classmate and peer, and now is in a grad program at McKendree University and preparing to become a high school teacher and is now relying on Kahoot again as well. So kind of cool to see in the last 10 years that Kahoot has remained part of the awesome learning toolkit. And we're glad to have you here to show us the ropes and the perspective on that. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I'm just going to do a little presentation today about my experience with Kahoot and how Kahoot kind of shaped my educational journey. So
Lauren, we don't see anything yet. Would it be helpful if one of us presents?
Yeah, I don't see the PowerPoint pulling up yet.
Okay, cool. We are collaborating and sharing together the true nature of the Kahoot learning experience as we are being teammates in all of this. So I will pull up Lauren's awesome slide template and presentation to share her Kahoot story. Thank you for tuning in with us, and hopefully there's been an opportunity for everyone to share their favorite tools or what they're most excited about from both the player perspective and potentially even now the educator perspective, as we hear how Lauren's kind of full circle experience has shifted as well. I'm launching it now, and you should be able to see. Need that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah.
Of course.
All right. So, hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Kwilich. I'm a graduate student currently earning my teaching certification in secondary English education. I'm really grateful to be speaking here at this webinar because Kahoot has played a big role in shaping how I think about student engagement and building a meaningful classroom environment. So I'm just going to share my personal journey with Kahoot, starting as a student and now transitioning into an educator. Kahoot has shown me that it's really not just a digital game tool, but it really does have the power to transform classroom culture. So why Kahoot stuck with me. It creates energy and excitement in classroom settings. It gets everyone involved and engaged, and I think it turns lessons and reviews into something fun. And I wrote a little quote over here. I felt like Kahoot was always an application, especially when I was in high school, that brought the class to life. And that's really what stuck out, not just the way it organized content, but the way it really made everyone feel included. So my goal is really just to offer a lens on how Kahoot can support deeper connection and still keep learning fun and fresh. So why I'll use Kahoot as a teacher, it creates fun, but still has a purpose. And I think it gets students talking and thinking. It integrates technology with learning, which is really important to me as we're living in a society where technology is super apparent in everyday life. And it makes space for every student to engage. So when I think back to high school, we used Kahoot all the time. It was just something that made learning feel more alive, whether that was reviewing for a test, practicing vocabulary, or just winding down after a long week. I think Kahoot brought this collective and collaborative energy into the room. And it really did shift the classroom dynamics. So, like I said, students who normally didn't speak up became the most competitive players, and it gave everyone an equal opportunity to engage without raising their hand or worrying about being wrong or being too loud. I feel like that built in sense of safety kind of made it easier to take academic risks. And I remember feeling so proud when I would answer questions correctly and seeing my name on the leaderboard. Those moments kind of helped me believe in myself more. And now, as a future teacher, I kind of want to recreate those same feelings of belonging for my students. So that is kind of why I want to use it as a teacher. And then how I'll use Kahoot as a teacher. Something I love is that it really is so flexible and it just brings so many different avenues into the classroom. It's very inclusive and it kind of provides like the low stakes formative assessment in real time, which would give me instant feedback as a teacher on what students are understanding and what they need more support with. And then I can use Kahoot across all different parts and lessons for my classes. I like that it's not just something that I can use at the end of a lesson, but I can kind of use it during lessons just to make sure students are on track. And then more importantly, I think it supports different types of learners, which is really important to me. Visual learners can benefit from the layout, and then students that are more auditory learners are drawn to the music and stay active and involved. There's just something powerful about the social aspect as well, the competitive aspect, students cheering each other on, and kind of sharing in on the wins. And like Hannah was saying, that kind of creates a safe, supportive culture that I want in my classroom. So it's super fun and personal, and it also encourages deeper thinking and collaboration. And I'm really big on collaboration. I want my classroom to feel like a community and everyone can kind of trust and lean on each other. So that is kind of how I'll use Kahoot. And then just more from this slide, more specific ways that I plan to use Kahoot: warm-ups and bell ringers, review games, exit tickets and check-ins, vocabulary and literary devices, since I will be teaching high school ELA, and then creative Kahoots, which I'll kind of talk about more in this PowerPoint. These are all just definitely not limited, but just some ideas of how I'll use Kahoot in my classroom. And so I'm really excited for that. And then this is something that I kind of have thought about, especially while being in grad school, letting students take the lead. Since technology is such a big part of students' daily lives, I feel like they really like having access to be able to use technology in class. And some teachers aren't super cool with that, but I really want students to understand how to take technology to the next level. And so letting students kind of take the lead and make their own Kahoots, I think it will deepen understanding and critical thinking skills for their future. It builds confidence and voice, and it turns learning into leadership. So they're going to be learning the content and then also learning how to be a leader. One of my favorite things is it just gives students the opportunity to create their own Kahoots, student-centered, and it kind of aligns with the best practices that we study in education. They're thinking critically about the content, they're deciding what matters, what's worth testing, and how to phrase questions clearly. And I think that process will deepen their understanding, and I think they'll learn to love it because they feel like it's a challenge and they get to collaborate with other classmates. They're kind of in the teacher's shoes. So I really want to try to use this strategy, especially when I go into my student teaching next semester. Maybe I could separate the class into different groups and they could create a Kahoot based on theme, chapter, character, whatever we're learning in that specific lesson. And then we could play each other's games as a whole class. And so it'll not only build content knowledge, but also make everyone closer to each other. And it's just a fun thing to do. And then there's a picture of kind of how students will be able to create these Kahoots. Super easy, and obviously I would give them a tutorial on how to do it and how to make it effective before they actually create those, but I just thought that would be kind of a fun idea for students to do, and I'm excited to see how it works out. So Kahoot across grade levels, this is something I've thought about since high school when I was a student. I've been working with different age students for 4 years all throughout college, and I've seen Kahoot be used from early childhood education to high schoolers. We used it in some of my college classes, and then obviously I think even corporate world could use Kahoot as well. There's a little information over here on the left just about some statistics of Kahoot, but I think how you use Kahoot is the most important part. So whether it's reviewing vocab, analyzing themes, or just creating review for tests and quizzes, you can really adapt Kahoot and it's super flexible. So I think just it's great for building foundational skills, and it, regardless of age, it really does create this sense of like playfulness, like we're learning, but we're having fun. And that's kind of what I like the most about it. And then this is what I'm most excited for. So new Kahoot features I love. It's obviously changed a lot since I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2020. So I started high school in 2016, and I was not really introduced to Kahoot until about my sophomore or junior year. I think it started getting a lot more popular and used in classroom settings. And so I had an assignment as a grad student, a teach and tell. So I had to choose an application, and Kahoot was kind of the main application that I thought of in high school that we used. And so I was just looking on, Kahoot's website, seeing what's changed, what stayed the same. And I came across so many different features that had been added, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So new questions like slide and poll interactions, interactive questions, ready to use templates with AI assistance. And then you can also convert PDFs and slides into a Kahoot, which is so convenient and just easy for teachers to use. You're making PowerPoints all the time, note taking and stuff like that. And then just being able to convert those slideshows or PDFs into a Kahoot for an end of unit review or just little reviews here and there is so easy. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. And then AI assistance, obviously AI has kind of taken over a lot of our technology the past couple years, and I'm so glad that Kahoot has integrated AI assistance into their format, just because it really is a huge time saver and it generates ideas. And honestly, I think if you use AI correctly, it can really help just give complex ideas or give better instructions to students. So these are just some new features I love. I'm sure I did not list all of them, but I just thought it was the coolest thing. And yeah. And then just bringing energy into learning. I think learning should be joyful. I love to have fun with my students. Obviously, some things have to be taken seriously, but not all the time. I think every student deserves to feel seen and included, and I love that Kahoot helps students feel this way. I was super shy in high school, and I loved playing Kahoot because it was just something fun. It made everyone smile, and it made learning just really active and enjoyable. And yeah, tools like Kahoot make this possible in the classroom. So just really grateful for this opportunity and Kahoot as a whole. And I really hope that my story kind of inspired others or you took something valuable from it. So thank you guys so much. That's all I have. But if you have any questions or anything, I'll try to answer them in the chat box. But thank you guys so much.
You, Lauren, for walking us through kind of the evolution of the Kahoot experience, the student mindset that feels very familiar to many of the educators here, and then how that has evolved along with you and grown with you in the Kahoot experience. I see some chat messages coming through also wishing you the very best in the ventures into your first moments as a teacher and into the education career in general. So thank you for sharing your time and your insight with us. Obviously, so much to continue learning and celebrating, and ways that we can continue playing and sharing on all things Kahoot. Thank you very much. And Lauren touched on this just a bit, but so much of the research and the why behind Kahoot is really the nitty-gritty, the foundation of what has made this learning experience so successful and the impact of learning with Kahoot so long-lasting. So next we are welcoming Pekka, one of our pedagogy experts at the Kahoot crew, and he's here to share a little more on the Kahoot learning experience as a full-scale research teaching cycle, facilitating engaging learning for all, literally. Welcome, Pekka. We are very glad to have you here.
Thank you, Hannah. And hi, everyone. I'm Pekka, based in Helsinki, Finland, and I'm super excited to be here to introduce you the Kahoot learning experience model. And at the same time, we are going to have a live demo of Kahootopia, and one of our new and highly requested game modes, accuracy mode, that Lavinia already mentioned before. So I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. So as you can see, we are on, I'm logged in a Kahoot account, and we are on the home page. And I'm gonna select Kahootopia. And then I'm gonna choose EDU Summit Island that I've created earlier before. Lavinia already told you a lot about Kahootopia, what it is, and now you are going to see it in live action. I have already developed the island a bit for you to see how it can look when your class or group of students has already earned collective rewards by playing Kahoots. Now we are going to play a Kahoot together and earn collective rewards and collect those after the Kahoot. So I'm gonna select the start new game, and then I'm gonna select accuracy mode, and gonna choose this Kahoot for us. The topic will be, of course, learning experience. And then let's start. So now you are able to join the Kahoot. So grab your mobile phone or another device, and you can also open a new browser window to access the game. So the game pin is 2023700, and you can also use this QR code to access the game. And if you don't want to play the Kahoot, it's totally fine. You can just watch and learn from the side. And we already have 130, 140 players and counting. So this mode, as Lavinia earlier explained, is accuracy mode. It's a new game mode only correct answers are the things that matter. So remember, you don't get any extra points for being fast. So no rush, take your time and try to answer each question correctly. I'm gonna also check the settings. So I'm gonna showing the questions and answers on your device, and also we have characters here. So you can choose, you can modify your characters. And we are hitting now 300 players, just few more seconds and then we will go. Here is also one thing I'm showing you. So if you want to lock your game, so if you want that no students can enter the game after you have started it, you can also lock it. And we are actually for being sure that this is a stable one, and we will lock it in 5 seconds. So 5 more seconds, you can join the game, and then I'm gonna lock it and let's start. And here's once more, remember that no bonus point for speed. So this is Kahoot learning experience. And the first one that we are going to check is not a question yet. This is a slide about the Kahoot learning experience and what it is. So it's a model that explains when and how to use Kahoot and its different tools effectively. As you already know, Kahoot is an all-in-one teaching toolkit that can be used easily and quickly in all different phases of the teaching process. Our learning experience model that you can see the image here right now, it has 6 sections. It starts with efficient preparation. Then there is impactful instruction, playful practice, memorable review, effective assessment. And the last one is group achievement. And we are going to deep dive into each of these in this Kahoot game. And we will have our first question next. So what is the Kahoot AI generator best used for? You can try to guess. Is it best used for efficient preparation, or impactful instruction, or playful practice, or effective assessment? Let's see. And this Kahoot AI generator and all the Kahoot AI features Lavinia already showed you. Yes, most of you got it right. It is indeed for time-saving, efficient preparation. And now we see here everyone who got the answer correctly. So in this accuracy mode, there is no scoreboard or leaderboard showing participants who answered the quickest and got the most points. Instead, all of you that got this right will see you here equally, and it's showing you equally. So the speed doesn't not count in this accuracy mode. And great, we had so many right answers here. So Kahoot is a great tool to create engaging learning experiences fast and easily. We have several features that save teachers valuable time. Some to mention are AI generator, slide import and slide sync, and high quality, ready to play content from our partners and verified educators. Did you know that we have over 100 million ready to play Kahoots on our platform for choose from? Next, we have impactful instruction. Kahoot is a powerful tool for this, especially when used as an interactive presentation tool or when educators are facilitating classroom discussions with Kahoot. We have, for example, the lecture mode that Liz showed you earlier. We have accuracy mode that we are testing right now together. And we have multiple different question types for engagement or testing knowledge or formative assessment. And then we have team mode or collaborative game modes for boosting future-ready skills. So let's take our next question. And this is a type answer question. Which part of the Kahoot learning experience does Kahoot's self-study tools support? So Lavinia already showed you a few of the self-study tools, and you can use this image to support your answer. So type your answer and then press submit. So don't forget to press submit after you have answered. 3 more seconds, 2, 1, and let's check the answers. So playful practice is, of course, the correct answer. And I think I saw, yes, we have, let's see, the others, assessment, play tool. So I think here is all the correct answers. So let's see how many of you got it right. We have 14 right answers. And yet again, here we see all the ones who got this one right. So with Kahoot, you can unleash the power of play in learning. We have flashcards, practice mode, and other self-study tools. Educators can assign student-based challenges during lessons or lectures or for homework. And as Lauren already mentioned earlier, you can also let your students to create and host their own Kahoots for their peers. And these are only a few samples that our tools can be used and what the students can do to explore and learning content. One of Kahoot's strengths is the instant and automated feedback it gives to students. We all know that instant feedback is a crucial element in learning. And when it's automated, it doesn't take teachers valuable time at all. With Kahoot, you are also able to differentiate learning by assigning personalized Kahoots to students according to their needs. Remember to use the AI generator for creating those easily and quickly. And one option is to use Kahoot Quiz as an exit ticket at the end of the lesson to see if the main topics of the lessons were understood. This is something that Liz also mentioned also earlier. So for effective assessment, we have advanced reporting tool that can be used for capturing useful information from students' learning. Kahoot can be used for assessment from quick pulse checks to formative assessment and for tracking the progress or even attendance. It also helps educators to give feedback or targeting instructions to all students. And next, let's take another question. Which part of the Kahoot learning experience does Kahootopia Time Machine support? So Lavinia also mentioned earlier something about Kahootopia and Kahootopia Time Machine. So try to guess what it is for. And yes, most of you got this right again. So it is for group achievement. So with Kahoot and Kahootopia, you are able to celebrate success together with your whole class. In a few minutes, we are going to see together how our island is growing after finishing this Kahoot right here, what we are playing. And now, our last question is a drop pin. At which stage of the teaching and learning cycle does Kahoot provide you with the greatest support? So track the image to place the pin where you personally feel that Kahoot supports you or can support you the most. Is it for preparing the lessons or other learning experiences, or is it for motivating students or creating interactive lessons. Okay. Well, what I see that Kahoot can support you the most in every part of the learning cycle and teaching cycle. So you found your favorite part in all of the different 6 sections. We have a dedicated channel for the Kahoot learning experience on our platform. So if you want to learn quickly and easily how to use these tools that we have been presenting to you in a pedagogically great ways, you can just check these courses. So these professional development courses for educators, they are highly educational, but take only 10 minutes each. So there are courses like learn how to generate Kahoots with AI in 10 minutes, learn how to create interactive lessons in 10 minutes, or learn how to use Kahoot reports in 10 minutes. So check these courses. And if you want to learn even more, join our Kahoot Certified for Schools program. We have created 3 courses, each 30 minutes long, named Bronze, Silver, Gold, for you to become the ultimate Kahoot superstar. With these courses, you'll learn how to use the best available Kahoot tools effectively. So to get certified, just go to kahoot.com/certified. And after completing each of the courses, you'll receive a diploma and a cool digital badge. And that was it. Let's now check the podium. So here we can see everyone that are in the 3rd place. And the same goes for the 2nd place. So all of you who are in the 2nd place are here. And then only 3 persons got all questions correct. And you are all in the 1st place. Excellent. So congratulations to you all. And now we are automatically back on our Kahootopia island. And here you can see all of you in a nice group celebrating this learning moment together. So congratulations all of you who participated in this. And now, last thing, let's claim our rewards. So we earned trivia stage, it's growing. Focus place got some more growing, and we got the brand new building on our island, and it is for playing this very Kahoot. So that was all from me. Thank you all, and back to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Pekka. I think that's such an underrated aspect of our accuracy mode or lecture mode, game mode, is being able to see the full podium of each of the leaderboard stages, our bronze, silver, and gold leaderboard medalists, and then of course the whole class or whole group celebration on Kahootopia at the end is, to me, one of my favorite parts of the collaboration and class celebration. So thank you for showing very much the foundations of Kahoot altogether, as we considered all the different ways that Kahoot can be adapted to the different learning styles, different learning needs of our students. And as Pekka shared, sometimes that means changing up the medium and format with different game modes and tools, delivery versus the accuracy mode and lecture mode, or even really adapting to whatever works for your class. We are next joined by Dr. Carrie Stubbs of Stages Learning, who will really expand more and share on this. Stages Learning has empowered educators and parents alike to create so many individualized and personalized learning experiences for their own children, no matter of their needs or learning experiences, all the way back from preschool and early intervention through the later years of academics and schooling, all behind research-backed curriculum and innovative digital learning. So I will hand over to you, Carrie, for that perspective and approach with hands-on resources. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here today. Thank you so much. So let's kick it off. He was 8. His name was Jaden. He could name every dinosaur in alphabetical order, but he couldn't sit still for 5 minutes during morning meeting. He flapped his hands when he was excited. He covered his ears when it was just too loud, and he built the most intricate Lego cities you've ever seen, ones with working elevators built with rubber bands and determination. His teacher, she was kind, she cared deeply, but I was overwhelmed because I was managing 24 students, a curriculum map, and an unrelenting copier jam. And I knew Jaden needed more. Not more discipline, not more restraint. He needed more understanding, more tools, more flexibility in a system that wasn't quite built for him. If you've ever had a Jaden, drop a heart or a yes in the chat. Jaden's story isn't rare. In fact, if you work in education, you've probably met your own version of Jaden. Brilliant, unique, full of potential, and at risk of being overlooked because he doesn't quite fit the mold. Here's the thing. Kids like Jaden, they don't need to be fixed. Our systems do. And the good news, that's why you're here. Whether you're joining from Singapore or South Africa, Brazil or Boston, you are the ones rewriting what school can mean. You are the ones who can shift from reaction to readiness, from compliance to compassion, from what's wrong with this student to what does this student need to thrive? All of you are the change agents that we've been waiting for. And if anyone can build a future where all means all, it's the ones who keep showing up, just like you did today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Carrie Stubbs, and it's truly an honor to be with you today among so many people who care so deeply about what matters most, creating learning that engages every student. Thank you so much to Liz Crawford and the amazing team at Kahoot for bringing this conversation to the forefront. I've spent my entire career showing up for students like Jaden. I started as a general education teacher in a classroom filled with what I like to call beautiful chaos. Autism, behavioral differences, physical needs, and a whole lot of heart. There wasn't a manual, but there were Jadens. Brilliant, curious, and constantly underestimated. And yet, in that chaos, I found my calling. I worked alongside students who communicated without words, who experienced the world differently, and who needed more from us than we were often prepared to give. And it truly changed the way I saw everything. That experience led me to earn my PhD and to join the team at BrainPop, where I spent 14 years focused on one thing: helping kids want to learn. Through game-based learning, creative tools, and digital storytelling, we built experiences that made engagement not just a goal, but a given, basically making learning irresistible. In parallel, I've had the privilege of serving on boards like ISTE and EdCamp, Break Ed EDU, and South by Southwest EDU, where I have collaborated with innovators and thought leaders to shape how technology, equity, and innovation intersect in today's classrooms. Today, I'm honored to be at Stages Learning, where I get to partner with educators who are doing powerful work to support students with autism and related needs through our early readiness curriculum, known as ARIS, which stands for the Academic Readiness Intervention System, combining that with coaching and community. Across every chapter of my work, one truth keeps rising. Engagement isn't about bells and whistles. It's about helping every learner, every Jaden, feel seen, understood, and invited in. And that's exactly where we begin today. Today, I'm not here to present a toolkit or pitch a solution. I'm here to raise a flag because the needs of our students are rising faster than the systems and supports around them. And if we want all to truly mean all, we need to recognize that this responsibility now falls on all of us, not just the specialists. Every classroom, every child, every single day. So no pressure, but bragging rights are on the line. What do you think this number represents? Please drop it in the chat. Give you a little thinking time. An estimated 15 to 20% of the world's population is neurodivergent. That's nearly 1 in 5 people. This estimate includes individuals with autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, dyslexia, learning disabilities, and other cognitive and neurological differences. Which begs the question, what is neurodiversity? I absolutely love this image that was introduced to me by Ann May. She's an early childhood autism educator in Michigan who was the recipient of our Stages Learning Eris Thrive grant for autism educators. A neurodiverse brain often processes information differently than a neurotypical brain, which I think this image does a wonderful job of illustrating. For example, it's like 2 people walking into a crowded concert. One hears the song, the other hears every voice, echo, and footstep at once. It's hearing break a leg and knowing it means good luck versus hearing break a leg and thinking, why would anyone want to hurt me before my performance? It's your brain acting like a flashlight, able to shine attention where it's needed. Versus it's your brain acting more like a disco ball, lighting up 100 places at once, whether you want it to or not. It's switching gears, feeling like as easy as changing TV channels. You click and go. Versus switching gears, feeling more like turning a cruise ship. Takes time, a lot of planning, and sometimes an entire crew. It's group work feeling like a lively collaboration versus group work feeling like trying to build IKEA furniture with strangers who all lost the instructions. In today's keynote, I'll lean in specifically to autism or autism spectrum disorder as an example of neurodiversity. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition, meaning it's related to how the brain forms and functions. So in individuals with autism, the brain simply develops in divergent ways. These differences are not deficits, they're simply another way the brain can be wired. As the image of the brain shows, there's no single right way to think, learn, or process the world. And neurodiversity reminds us that variation in how our brains work is natural and valuable. Our job in education is not to expect students to adapt to one way of learning. Instead, it's to design systems and supports that adapt to them. Because when we do, every learner has a chance to thrive. Now, this is a truly lovely resource as you work to build your own understanding of neurodiversity and autism. It's the story of the very first person diagnosed with autism, and it's interwoven with additional stories of autism, including a first-person parental journey of one of the filmmakers. I'd like to play the short trailer for you because it does a really nice job of setting the stage for today's conversation.
No, Dawn, I don't remember not knowing Dawn.
We knew that Dawn was a little different, but what it was, we didn't know.
He is the first person to be ever diagnosed with autism.
At the time, autism wasn't even a word.
I had heard that the first person diagnosed with autism might still be alive and living in this small town in Mississippi.
Hey, Shelby Welby. Hey, Nat the cat.
Well, hi, Don, darling.
Hey, Chandler the plant.
Stop resisting! Get the cups. Hey, can I go, please?
I only knew that I was different and that different was bad. You're weird, you're a freak, you're a retard, you're a loser, you're ugly. These were the things that I heard on a daily basis.
Go, go, go.
In my research study, every Black family that I've met with has asked a similar question. How do we keep our children safe? How do we fix this situation so that our children won't die?
Toasty, toasty. Yeah.
Like that.
Autism is a little different. Your brain works a lot differently than most people.
Hello. Hey, Karen. Hello.
Do you get any kind of support from anybody?
Not really. It's just me. Nobody's gonna do what I do.
So you just can't die?
Right. It's gotta be immortal.
Don's got some odd behaviors and some eccentricities, but he's our guy.
I was just so drawn to him and this community. I wanted to figure out, how did they get it right? Because they really did get it right.
Isn't that amazing? So Dawn was the first person ever diagnosed with autism. So obviously at the time, autism was rarely identified, but that has all changed. In the United States, the diagnosis rate has risen dramatically from 1 in 150 children in 2000 to 1 in 36 as of 2022. This is according to the CDC. And while the global numbers do vary by country, this overall trend is quite clear. More children are being diagnosed with autism around the world. And behind the rising diagnosis rates is a daily sobering reality. Autistic students are 3 to 4 times more likely to face bullying at school. That's not just a side note, that's a warning sign. Because when students spend their school years feeling isolated, misunderstood, or unsafe, it shapes how they see themselves, and that ripple effect doesn't stop at graduation. School exclusion becomes missed opportunities, and emotional trauma becomes disconnection. So, again, take a guess in the chat. What do you think students with autism are 8 times more likely to? Students with autism are actually eight times more likely to be unemployed as adults. Let that sink in. We're talking about 15 to 20% of our student population. So picture an entire hallway of learners stepping out of our care and into a world that too often isn't ready for them. Friends, that number is not just a statistic. It's a mirror. It's reflecting the consequences of years spent feeling excluded, misunderstood, or unsafe. And when that's the foundation, the future narrows. Brilliance ends up on the sidelines, potential goes unrecognized, and the cycle repeats. And unless we change the story, that 8 times rate won't just persist. It will grow. That's why how we show up matters. Not someday, but now. All means all can't just be a mission statement. It has to be a mindset, and it has to be a plan. So here's the big picture. It's no longer a question of if students will come to us with complex needs. It's how many and how prepared we'll be to meet them. We're seeing more students entering our classrooms worldwide who need more from us, more support, more understanding, more flexibility. And this isn't a passing trend, it's the new reality of teaching. The tide is rising, and our systems, our staffing, and our strategies need to rise with it. All right, it's time for another round of What's the Stat? 70% is a big number, but what does it represent? Drop your best guess in the chat. What do you think 70% is pointing to in education today? Here's the answer. More than 70% of teachers worldwide say they feel unprepared to support autistic students in their classrooms. We aren't ready for these kids. Just as the needs of our students are rising, our capacity to meet those needs is shrinking. And here's the tough truth. While 70% of teachers say they feel unprepared to support autistic students, the very experts trained to help our special education educators are leaving faster than we can replace them. We are asking teachers to juggle flaming torches while riding unicycles, and then wondering why they're tired. This isn't just a US issue. It's a global crisis. From the UK to China to sub-Saharan Africa, school systems are struggling to find and retain educators trained to support students with disabilities. UNESCO estimates, and this is going to take your breath away, UNESCO estimates we need 44 million new teachers by 2030 to meet global demand. And a significant share of that is in special education. In the US, 70% of schools report unfilled special education positions. In China, only 60 to 70% of children with disabilities are even receiving formal education, largely due to these staffing issues. And in many regions, there are zero training pipelines at all for special educators. The message is clear. The world isn't just short on special educators. We're falling behind on our promise to serve every learner. These numbers aren't just challenges, they're calls to leadership. And that leadership, it's already in this room. Or at least I assume it is. This is YouTube. I can't actually see any of you. But with thousands of you out there, I'm going to go ahead and bet that at least a few future change makers are currently nodding along. I've been in enough rooms like this to know and recognize when the future of education is showing up. And it's you. You're stepping up, you're showing up, and you're reimagining what's possible. And here's the bigger message. You don't need the title special educator to make a difference, because in today's classrooms, every educator is a special educator in some ways. So here's the big picture. On the one side, we have steady rising needs of our students, more complex, more layered, and more visible than ever before. On the other side, we're seeing fewer hands to meet those needs, especially in special education, where teachers are leaving faster than we can replace them, and general educators often feel unprepared. Right now, we are standing in a rising tide, trying to hold every child's hand above water. Let's give them the bridge, the tools, and the team. But all hope is not lost. I mean, if it were, this would be the worst keynote closer ever. Can you imagine? Good luck, everyone. We're doomed. Cue the outro music and soul-crushing dread. No. Instead, I invite you to think of this moment like a Venn diagram, with increased student need on one side and fewer trained educators on the other. That little center overlap, that's the challenge and the call. It's where we must stop thinking of support as a siloed effort and start seeing it as a collective one. Because today, Every single educator is a special educator in some way. And the future of engagement depends on that mindset shift. This is where All Be Hall becomes a reality. All means all becomes a reality right in this intersection. It's no longer the job of a few. Every educator, whether in gen ed or special ed, is part of this story. Every child, every classroom, every day. We don't get to choose who walks through the door, but we do choose how we show up for them. This isn't about blame, it's about belief. Belief that every child deserves to be seen. Belief that every educator has a role to play. Because whether it's in math class, music, or morning meeting, every educator will teach a neurodiverse student. The only question is, will we be ready? Picture this: a kindergarten teacher confidently supporting a student with autism during circle time. A coach using visual cues on the field. A history teacher adapting lessons so that every single child can engage. That's not just inclusion, that's the future of engagement. That's empowerment. Empowering educators with the training, resources, and support they need to teach every learner, to feel confident doing it, and to create classrooms where everyone thrives. And every time you pause with empathy, offer a visual, or shift your approach, you're changing the world, one child at a time. As you look at this Venn diagram again, you'll notice something powerful happening at the intersection. This is where technology, accessibility, and hands-on resources converge. It's where innovation and intention meet. At the center, you'll find those instructional tools that are changing the game, literally and figuratively. Think about what Liz Crawford and the entire Kahoot team have shared today about Kahoot's commitment to accessibility and differentiation. Millions of educators are using Kahoot to make learning fun, memorable, and inclusive, especially for students with special needs or learning differences. It's our tools from Stages Learning, like our Academic Readiness Intervention System, or ARIS, built specifically to support students with autism and related early intervention needs through both digital and tactile instruction. But here's the big takeaway. It's not just about having those tools, it's about choosing the right tools, those that are designed with all learners in mind. Tools that harness the power of AI, gamification, and universal design to engage, differentiate, and empower. If we harness this opportunity together, we can amplify our collective impact. We can build educator capacity, and we can meet the growing diverse needs of all students faster and more effectively. That is the heart of engaged learning for all. And of course, I couldn't end without sharing a moment that brings it all home. This is Ann May from Michigan, who I mentioned earlier, and with her is a sweet kiddo named Yaya. You're about to see a quick clip from a lesson where Yaya is practicing one of the most foundational skills we can teach, taking turns. It's simple, it's beautiful, and it's everything.
Remember, ready to learn. Hands on the table, just like this. Yes, good job. All right, cool. All right, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, we're gonna do my turn, your turn.
My turn, your turn.
Yeah, my turn, your turn. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first one, my turn. Ready to learn. Thank you. All right, shake. Wait. Ready to learn first. Ready? You stay there. My turn first. Ready? I shake. Okay, are you ready? It's your turn. Shake. Good job. Okay, all done with shaking. All right, ready to learn?
Yeah.
You ready to learn? Okay, my turn, and then Yaya's turn.
My turn.
First, my turn.
My turn, your turn.
My turn, your turn. My turn?
My turn, your turn.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, ready to learn?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna blow. All right. Me first. Are you ready? Your turn. you sound just like a duck. One more time, ready? We'll do it together. You like it?
It's a duck.
Yeah, it's a duck. We're all done.
I'm done.
Seen these kids. You've known a Yaya. Maybe you were their champion. Maybe you still are. And maybe, just maybe, they're the reason you're here today. So where does that leave us? With rising needs, fewer hands, and more responsibility than ever before? It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to feel like you're holding a leaky boat together with duct tape and a smile. But here's the truth. There's still hope. Because the educators who are still here, you didn't stay by accident. You stayed because you care too much to walk away. You are the difference makers. We owe it to each other, and more importantly, to our kids, to see every learner, to support every need, and to believe in every student's potential. And if you take nothing else from today, please take this. Our kids can't wait, and they shouldn't have to. All means all can't just be a motto. It has to be a promise for every classroom, every child, every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. I think the resounding reflection of your story and your experience was absolute chills to know that one, this experience of trying to support every learner is universal, and two, feeling like we are never equipped enough, but how important it is to meet our students where they are, to use the tools we do have, and of course, collaborate with other teachers in our building, because it's not just that siloed special education pull out IEP plan. It's the whole well-rounded school day experience, from your circle time in the morning to bell ringers at the end. And that is truly the all means all approach. So thank you for walking us through that experience, that perspective. I know, as someone is saying, you really hit the nail on the head. Wish every teacher could hear your presentation, Dr. Stubbs. You're so right and so informative. So thank you for joining us and closing out our summit today. We so appreciate you being here, and really so appreciate all of our presenters joining in today, and then of course all of our participants and attendees. Thank you for sharing your brain space and your perspective today as we closed out our EDU Summit and closed out our school year, but we are really excited to jump into and start planning and preparing for the 2025-2026 school year as well. So we hope to keep learning and sharing with you. All of that to say that we know this engaging learning wouldn't happen without all of your drive, your determination, your inspiration, and collective brain power and superhero skills that come with being in a classroom, or even supporting your very own children. Much like yourselves joining in, we are so thankful to be learning from you and with you, and appreciate you being here as well. Just a quick reminder as we wrap up today, the very last seconds of our 2025 EDU Summit. We love that you were able to stay in and join us live, but in case you want to rewatch or even share one of these sessions with a colleague, a coworker, someone in your community, we'll be touching base within the next few days to share a link to all of these sessions to watch on demand and a recording at your own pace. You can check your email and at the top of your inbox for that playlist, or always revisit www.kahoot.com/webinars to check back at your own pace and on your own schedule, as well as the summit registration page. The same page you used to join today will also be updated with our playlist. We'll send out that email to all registrants, regardless if you joined us live or even asynchronously. And you'll also get a badge and certificate to share on social media, on your own portfolio, however you want to brag and show off all of your new Kahooting skills. We are so appreciative of you joining today. Thank you for learning with us. And sharing, collaborating, connecting together. My favorite part is always seeing the collaborations and questions and answers that happen in the chat. So thank you for helping to contribute to that today with energy, with insight, with inspiration. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time at our later sessions for the Kahoot EDU Summit, our monthly teacher talks, or even in real life at some events coming up. But we appreciate you being here and happy Kahooting. Bye, everyone.